Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel, I hope. Everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Golden Bachelor. Would Charles Ling accept the offer? Golden Bachelorette fans were disappointed when Joan Vassos sent home fan favorite Charles Ling. He quickly made an impact on Bachelor Nation. His endearing personality along with his genuine uniqueness led fans everywhere to root for him to find love again. Now that he has been eliminated from the show, fans are wondering if he could be in the running to be the next Golden Bachelor. If the job was offered to him, would he take it? Keep reading to see what Charles had to say about it. Would Charles Ling accept Golden Bachelor offer? Golden Bachelorette fans saw Joan Vassos send Charles Ling home. Fortunately, he admits he knew it was probably going to happen soon. He appeared on the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast, where he talked about sensing that Joan would be sending him home soon. He knew that she had good connections with some of the other men. Charles was okay with leaving. He revealed finding lifelong friends and the experiences helping him realize it's okay to move on and find love again. He had a hard time with that when his wife passed away, and the men he met on the show told him it was okay to seize new opportunities when they knock. Since his elimination, fans have been expressing their need to see Charles Ling cast as the next lead for Season 2 of The Golden Bachelor. The next question is, would he even accept the opportunity if producers offered it to him? Ling shared that he would definitely consider the possibility. He said, "I haven't thought about it yet, but if that opportunity arises, why not?" He had no idea how loved he is online. Charles Ling had no idea until very recently how well loved he is online. He asked a message be passed along to all the fans. He said, "Please tell the fans Charles missed them," and Charles thanked them for their love and support. Many fans all over have commented online demanding ABC make him the next lead. It seems he has a pretty good shot since he has become so popular. One person even wrote on his latest Instagram post, "Shiashar for Golden Bachelor or Purius ident I am fine with either." Charles Ling, the ever-charming yet elusive contender on The Golden Bachelor, had managed to captivate viewers with his quiet demeanor and thoughtful presence throughout the season. But as the competition neared its end, and the final rose ceremony loomed on the horizon, a whisper of uncertainty clouded the air. Would Charles accept the offer if it came his way, or would he take a step back from the golden spotlight? As each week passed, fans watched Charles navigate the emotional landscape of dating in his golden years with poise and grace. He wasn't the loudest man in the room, nor the most outspoken, but there was something about his quiet confidence that drew attention. His past, a mystery cloaked in small reveals, hinted at a life filled with deep experiences, and each time he opened up, it felt like peeling back another layer of an intricately woven life. From the beginning, Charles had been a wild card. The producers knew they had something special with him, though no one could have predicted the impact he would have. Unlike some of the more boisterous contestants, Charles didn't use flashy gestures or bold proclamations to win over the leading lady. Instead, he leaned into authenticity, slowly building connections with the women on a foundation of genuine curiosity and deep conversation. When others turned to grand gestures, Charles would pull someone aside for a quiet moment, a hand resting gently on hers, speaking in soft tones that made his intentions unmistakable. But now, as the end approached, Charles found himself at a place he hadn't expected to be, on the verge of possibly being chosen, and therein lay the dilemma. Inside the Bachelor mansion, the energy was palpable. The other men were all posturing, vying for attention, making sure their presence was felt in these crucial final days. But Charles, as always, stayed calm, reserved even. There was a noticeable shift in his demeanor, something only a keen observer would notice. He seemed distant, as though he was deep in thought, weighing something heavy on his mind. His connection with the Golden Bachelorette, Joan Vassos, had been slow to develop but undeniable. Unlike the whirlwind romances that often fizzled as quickly as they sparked, Charles and Joan had found themselves on a different path. They shared stories of their past, the loves they'd lost, the dreams they still harbored for the future. There was an understanding between them that went beyond the surface level, a bond built not just on attraction, but on respect and shared values. Still, despite their connection, Charles wasn't entirely sure if this was what he wanted. One afternoon, as he sat on the porch of the mansion, looking out at the sprawling gardens, Joan approached him. She could sense his distance, the hesitation that had crept into his once steady gaze. Charles had always been an open book with her, but now there were pages left unread. "Charles," Joan began, sitting beside him, "I've noticed you've been quiet lately. More than usual, even for you. Is everything all right?" Charles sighed, his shoulders sagging under the weight of his thoughts. He turned to face her, his expression soft but serious. "I've been thinking a lot," he admitted. "About everything. About us." Joan nodded, a trace of worry in her eyes. "I see. It's just, I came here with no real expectations. I didn't know if I'd connect with anyone, if I'd even make it this far. But now that I have, I'm realizing that this is real. And it's not just about whether you choose me or not. It's about what I want too." Joan reached out, taking his hand in hers. "And what do you want, Charles?" He looked down at their intertwined hands, the warmth of her touch grounding him in the moment. "I want something real. But I also need to be sure that I'm ready for this, for love again. It's been a long time since I've been in a serious relationship, and I need to be honest with myself about where I am in my life." Joan studied him carefully, her heart swelling with admiration for his honesty. "I appreciate that more than you know, Charles. This journey isn't just about me finding someone. It's about both of us finding what we're looking for." Charles nodded, grateful for her understanding. "That's just it. I don't know if I've found what I'm looking for yet. I care about you, Joan, I really do. But I need to figure out if I'm truly ready to commit to this fully." Joan smiled, though there was a trace of sadness in her eyes. "I respect that, Charles. And whatever decision you make, I'll support it." As the final rose ceremony approached, the question on everyone's mind was clear. Would Charles accept the offer if Joan chose him? For days, Charles wrestled with his feelings. He cared deeply for Joan, but there was a part of him that feared he wasn't ready to open his heart completely. He had spent years building a life of solitude, finding peace in his independence. The idea of letting someone in again, of risking the pain of loss or heartbreak, was daunting. Yet there was another side to that coin. Joan was unlike anyone he'd ever met. She was kind, compassionate, and wise in a way that only someone who had lived through life's trials could be. With her, Charles felt seen in a way he hadn't in years. But was that enough? The night of the final rose ceremony, Charles stood in the garden, the cool night air brushing against his skin. As Joan walked toward him, dressed in a stunning gown that shimmered under the moonlight, Charles felt a wave of emotion wash over him. This was the moment where everything would be decided. Joan stood before him, her eyes searching his face for answers. "Charles," she began softly, "I've made my decision. But before I say anything, I need to know. Are you ready for this? For us?" Charles took a deep breath, the weight of the question settling in his chest. He looked into Joan's eyes, the sincerity of her feelings clear as day. In that moment, he realized the truth. He wasn't sure. With a heavy heart, Charles spoke the words he knew he had to. "Joan, I care about you so much. But I don't think I'm ready. I need more time." Joan's eyes welled with tears, but she smiled, a bittersweet understanding in her expression. "Thank you for being honest, Charles." And with that, the offer slipped away.